Hey guys, welcome to Jakbo's RC Garage. You could call this four-wheel steering 1.1. Why is that so? I had a problem. So and then I paid a closer look to the axles itself. And actually the rear axle has the same shape for mounting the C-hubs for the steering. And I was like, why did I actually buy the body of a front axle if I could have kept the rear axle? So let's try this. Put the rear axle back in and see how far we go. Okay, here is the rig as you already know it. So, how did or what incident made me think about doing things easier? So it was actually the drive shaft. I used to have a metal drive shaft in there, and let me see if I find the piece right now. Where is it? That one. And due to this angle here, it popped. You see? Some say it's because it's metal. I like to think it's because of the, the big angle and all the torque and everything that it broke. So then I looked a little bit closer into the exploding sheet. And I should have done that before. Because you see, the C-hubs fit also on the rear axle. So if I put the original rear axle back in, I can leave everything as it is. So, my mistake. Sorry for that. Could have saved a lot of work, and it actually gets a lot cheaper. You don't need to buy the whole axle. Just need the steering portals and C-hubs. That's it. So, I'm gonna rebuild this again, and we're gonna speed that up, of course. Yeah, and as always, there's a little complication. Look at it. And I just learned that when I tried to put the portals in. Here, the axle is too long. Here it's not that, here it almost fits. Like through the differential, just like a few millimeters, I can file that off fine. But on this side, it's way too short. So I have to come up with something right. And you know what? Look what I still got here. So what I will try to do is like cut it and file it down a little bit. Or maybe I'm going to heat it up and see if I can compress it to create that flat end that fits in here. Let's hope it works out. Okay guys, that didn't went well. So first of all, the axles are kind of cast iron. When I try to flatten it with a hammer, it's so brittle it breaks. So the only way I can work, the only thing I can work on that is like filing something off. Unfortunately, you have to be very precise, so otherwise it's loose. So I have to come up with something else. It actually is much easier, because when you see through here, like the whole tube here goes through. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to file off parts here till I have the right depth completely through, and that will work from both sides. So I don't have to cut anything. I just stick it in, file it, and I'm done. That's what I'm gonna do. Unfortunately, I don't have any spare axles. So first I have to get new ones, and I need 2 long ones. And then I will stick them both through completely. Hey guys, parts arrived. 3 of those. So, filing, slide it in, and we're done. Let's go to the workbench. So guys, it was 100% success. You see here, just filed a little bit off. This is the long one for the short side. Gonna slide it in. And this is the long one for the long side. Didn't have to take that much off. No, come here. Slide it in. It's working, fine. So let's put that thing together, and we're gonna do that in, I would say, time lapse. Should we? Yes. Okay, momentum tooth. Now we're gonna slide it all in, and of course it's gonna fit. So if you ask if it's gonna work with a open and lockable differential, I would say yes, because the axle is the same. Because if you want to convert the locked diff into an open lockable diff, you only change or do you change something? No, there's a different axle. There is a different axle. And I might even have it here. So let's see. Let's see if that would work on a lockable diff. But let me close that here first. Then we see. Let's see, where are my diffs for the TRX4? That looks like it. Let's see how it looks. No, that's yes, that's the one. No. No. I mean, it was actually quite obvious. Because of the diff, you can't stick it all the way through, so you have to file it and cut it down. Okay, that's been sorted. So, it's working, I would say. Let's put the whole thing together. Of course, we're gonna speed that up. Okay? Oh, let's take a closer look first. So this is how the rear axle looks with the steering portals. Isn't that nice? I think so. So let's put it back together. Yeah, but instructors always has a surprise in the pocket. You see, the rear axle is actually a centimeter wider than or almost 2 centimeters than the front axle. But since I have here the spacers in, I'm just gonna take them out, those longer hex, and replace them with the original, and then it should almost be the same. This one I'm gonna extend with a long thread, and the steering rod also. Maybe it's not such a bad idea to get wider in the rear. We will see. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so everything is working. Let me show you real quick. Pretty good. So I'm gonna put some tires on here and then I will see how it looks. I might have to screw that in a little bit. I'm gonna do that right now. Because otherwise the rear tires are gonna be off. And I don't want that. So and then I will decide whether it looks nice with the wheels. Oh, how is it called in English? Okay, give me two. Let's see. The here, that width, I have no idea how it's called in English. So that's okay to leave it a little bit wider. If not, I'm gonna put the original hex on and you won't see it. And so how I'm gonna do that? I think I'm gonna put one original hex on this side and leave it like it is on the other side, so I can immediately decide and you guys can see what's the difference, or if there's a difference. Okay, that's fine. So TRX4 hex, where are you? Here's one original. So let's take this one off. There we go. Okay. Tires on. So, but before I decide what I'm gonna do with the rear tires, advantages and disadvantages. So as usual, nothing with Traxxas is without problems. So I would say advantage on this one, the drive shaft is straight, so it doesn't wear. Disadvantage, I would say, if you buy a front axle, it's gonna cost you about 10 euros. Okay. The two shafts for the steering are 20 euros. So financially, if you buy a complete front, if you put in a complete front axle, it's cheaper. Then you have to think about the difference in the width of the wheels, the wheel span, however you call it. If you want to avoid it, you need spacers here, so it's even. I think this solution is a little bit more elegant. And another advantage is that special mount here for the stabilizer. You don't need to take any you don't need to take any material off this one, because you can just file or cut it off the axle. That mount is easier. The actual steering is the same. You need a long thread to extend this one here, or pay somebody to do it for you. So it's a bit more expensive, but I think it's more elegant. And the wear on the drive shaft, because it goes straight. And I think that's the biggest advantage, because a drive shaft is 10 euros. If you break it, it's always 10 euros. And most of the time it's gonna be the balls here. So, how does it look? I don't even know. Where is it? That's, yep. See? You almost don't see any difference. And here you see it. So let's see how it looks with the body on. And how it behaves steering. Honestly, doesn't make much of a difference, except that here the tire rubs on the body. So, but I will take it off. And I still have to do some adjustments here on the steering. Okay, that's it. That's another way to put four-wheel steering on the TRX4. That's the elegant way. Bit more expensive, but my opinion, a little bit better. About that I do have to do something. See ya!